When I first met Rachel, she had this way of making the world feel less complicated. I was 26, still trying to build something for myself. And she seemed like the missing piece I didn't know I was searching for. We laughed easily, shared big dreams about a future home, children, and a life where loyalty meant everything. Back then, I was certain she was the one person who would never betray me. Alongside my personal life, I was also nurturing my professional ambitions. Together with my best friend and business partner, Mark, I had built a small but thriving contracting firm. We'd worked side by side for years, pouring sweat and sleepless nights into it, watching our efforts finally pay off. Having Rachel by my side made everything feel complete. She attended company dinners, hosted gatherings at our home, and cheered for every milestone we hit. I thought she was proud of us, proud of me. But shadows have a way of creeping in when you least expect them. Subtle at first, Rachel staying out late, brushing off my questions with half-hearted excuses. Her warmth grew colder, her touch more mechanical. I convinced myself it was stress, maybe the pressures of life pulling at her edges. I wanted to believe her, because the alternative, that the woman I loved could be unfaithful, was too painful to accept. Then came the night when my world tilted. I had left my phone at the office and went back late to retrieve it. Mark's car was still parked outside, even though he had told me he was heading home early. Curious, I stepped inside quietly, only to hear hushed voices coming from my office. I froze when I recognized Rachel's laugh, soft, familiar, but laced with intimacy. Peeking through the glass door, the sight shattered me. My wife sitting too close to Mark, their hands entangled as if they had rehearsed this closeness countless times. The ground beneath me felt like it had split open. My wife, my partner, the two people I trusted most were weaving lies right in front of me. I didn't burst in, didn't confront them then and there. Instead, I walked out silently, the weight of betrayal sinking deeper with each step. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying every smile, every moment, every word between us. And suddenly all of it looked like a carefully crafted performance. The morning after that discovery, I looked at Rachel differently. She smiled at me across the breakfast table, pouring coffee as though nothing had happened. I wondered how many times she had worn that same mask, pretending, lying with ease. My chest tightened with rage, but I kept my composure. I needed clarity, not just emotion. For days, I watched her closely. Her phone never left her side. Her excuses became more elaborate, and suddenly, Mark was always too busy to meet me at the office. The puzzle pieces clicked together with cruel precision. What hurt the most wasn't just the affair. It was the thought that Mark, the man I had trusted like a brother, was sharing secrets with my wife behind my back. They weren't just stealing moments together. They were stealing my life. Finally, I confronted Rachel. I waited until evening, when she was casually scrolling through her phone on the couch. "Are you going to tell me?" I asked, voice steady but sharp. "Why my wife is holding hands with my business partner in my office?" Her face drained of color, her jaw trembling before she forced out a laugh. "You're imagining things, John. Don't be ridiculous." But her eyes betrayed her. I pressed harder. "Don't lie to me. I saw you both." Silence stretched between us before she finally hissed, "Fine. What do you want me to say? Mark understands me in ways you don't. You're too consumed by work, too focused on success. He listens. He cares." Her words were like venom, twisting the knife deeper. But I wasn't going to let them break me. The next day, I confronted Mark. At first, he denied it, but when I laid out the truth, he smirked, as if daring me to react. "John, maybe you should look in the mirror. If Rachel came to me, it's because you weren't enough for her." His arrogance was staggering. He didn't even flinch as he tried to justify stabbing me in the back. That was the moment I knew both of them had to be cut out of my life completely. I filed for divorce immediately, sparing no explanation beyond the truth that she had broken vows that could never be repaired. Rachel tried to spin her story, crying, accusing me of being controlling, even attempting to guilt me into working things out. But her tears no longer moved me. I had seen her betrayal with my own eyes, and there was no going back. What she didn't know, however, was that I had begun uncovering things about her and Mark that would change everything. She thought the divorce would simply free her to be with him. But the truth I found would shatter that illusion completely. The divorce proceedings began with Rachel acting as if she held all the cards. She walked into the courtroom with a confident stride, whispering to her lawyer as if she had already won. I remained calm, letting her bask in her illusion. She had no idea that her carefully woven lies were about to unravel in front of everyone. While gathering documents for the case, I stumbled upon financial records Rachel had hidden. At first glance, they seemed ordinary: credit card statements, bank transfers, but one detail stood out. Large withdrawals had been made from our joint account, transferred into a private account under her name. More shocking was the recipient of several payments, Mark. She hadn't just betrayed me emotionally, she had been funneling money from our business into his hands. My partner and my wife had not only broken my trust, but also tried to bleed me dry. With this evidence in hand, I met with my attorney. We prepared everything meticulously, waiting for the perfect moment. When the day came, Rachel's lawyer began listing her demands: half of the business, the house, and a generous monthly alimony. She sat there smirking, certain I couldn't refuse. But when my lawyer presented the financial documents to the judge, the entire atmosphere shifted. Rachel's face went pale. Mark, who had arrogantly accompanied her to the hearing, froze in his seat. The judge reviewed the records carefully before raising his brows. "Mrs. Carter, can you explain why you secretly withdrew funds and transferred them to your husband's business partner?" The courtroom buzzed with murmurs. Rachel stammered, her confidence collapsing before everyone's eyes. Mark avoided my gaze, his mask of superiority cracking. He had thought Rachel would secure him wealth and stability, but now the truth had exposed him as complicit in financial misconduct. Their affair was one thing, shameful but personal. Their attempt to rob me, however, had legal consequences neither of them could escape. The judge not only dismissed Rachel's outrageous demands, but also opened an inquiry into her and Mark's actions. In one swift motion, the empire of lies they had built crumbled. Rachel realized she had lost everything: the house, the money, even the man she betrayed me with. As I walked out of that courtroom, I felt no bitterness, no desire for revenge, just relief. Rachel and Mark had destroyed themselves with their own greed and arrogance. I didn't need to fight them anymore. The truth had done that for me. For the first time in years, I felt free. Betrayal had tried to break me, but instead, it stripped away the poison in my life. Rachel had lost everything she thought she owned, while I regained the only thing that mattered: my dignity, my freedom, and the strength to build a new life on my own terms.